your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Now to a story of survival. A Grand Bahamian woman came face to face with death and walked away. Days after testing positive for COVID-19, she slipped into a coma and woke up in a U.S. hospital. It has been a long road to recovery for 41-year-old Shan Elliott. Rumiko Knowles has her story.
July 13th, 2021, 41-year-old Shan Elliott, along with her mother, Susan Elliott, was admitted to the Rand Memorial Hospital after testing positive for COVID-19.
It actually started, I didn't have any of the normal symptoms that they say that you have. I just had congestion, that was it. But my mom was feeling ill that week.
Days later, things took a turn for the worse.
They airlifted me on the 17th. So I think up until the 16th, I was still alert because my sister was we were still having conversations.
Conversations with her sister were the last thing she remembered before being airlifted. That flight turned out to be longer than expected for her as she slipped into a coma for over a month. During the time of unconsciousness, Elliott says it felt as if she was sitting on a bus alone, being driven on a road filled with beautiful green pastures. She could not describe the look of the driver, but she says he took her to a barn.
We went inside and he went and talked to the owner. I assume it's the owner of the barn. And it's like he was negotiating with this person, and I was off in the back just watching them have a conversation. And walking through the barn was these huge white horses, just in and out, and I'm just watching them and okay, y'all will finish anytime soon. And it was how people say, oh, I saw a bright light and stuff like that. It wasn't no bright light for me, but I feel that was my bright light experience.
That vision, among others, is what she remembers when she regained consciousness.
When I woke up again, I was at Cleveland Clinic in Florida. And I was oh, okay, they probably airlifted me last night. And then when I saw the date on the board, I was August? I was no, this can't be true.
But it was true. After waking up, doctors contacted her father and told him to prepare for burial as her lungs were in bad shape.
And they told him to get the family ready to have counseling because it's not going up from here. And so he told them, he was no, he's not accepting that, and just allow me to run the course, basically.
From there on, she was transferred to a long-term care facility to recover, which is where she received the worst news of her life, that her mother had passed away.
Yeah, so they pretty much didn't want to tell me while I was there, but she actually died a week after I left.
Daily, she is coping with the loss of her mother, but she takes comfort in the fact that her mom was a Christian. Now every year, Elliott gives herself a theme to live by, and this year's theme is No Second Wasted.
Someone asked me, they were oh, you look like you already up and about, and I'm I ain't got no time to waste. Being that close to non-existence is so surreal. So it's I don't have no time to waste. So I hit the ground running, and everything is back in motion, and I'm definitely grateful to God every single day.
The entire ordeal has been long and hard. Her story of survival will never be forgotten amongst her friends, colleagues, and loved ones. She is a testimony and a walking miracle. She says on the day her voice returns, she will go back to doing what she loves, which is singing God's praises. Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
All the way to the hilltop, I can almost hear every tear as it drops.
Beautiful story, Rumiko. Well, a Grand Bahama woman diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, is in dire need of financial assistance. Tonight, she says since her diagnosis 3 years ago, she has been crippled with pain, struggling to make ends meet, and has not been able to afford her medication. Here's the story. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2019, a disease that potentially disables the brain and the spinal cord and can cause muscle stiffness, paralysis in the legs, epilepsy, and mental changes. Nicole Knowles says she first heard about MS at her doctor's visit at Cleveland Clinic.
I had this numbness in my lower back and my feet. I couldn't move. And as it happens, after I couldn't move, I went to Cleveland Clinic. They admitted me in the hospital, and they were running tests to find out what was going on. So they couldn't find out. I have 15 doctors around me. They couldn't find out what was going on with me. So what they did, they had to fly a specialist in to see what's wrong with me. I was in hospital for 6 days over there.
And if anyone knows Nicole Knowles, she is one who always wears a smile on her face. She was previously employed at the Grand Bahamas International Airport and greeted many with a warm embrace. But now, since battling MS, she is unemployed, and the treatment she needs to function, she says, is not available in the Bahamas.
I was terminated from my job on the 16th of January 2020. And right after that, then the pandemic came in. And I was home for a year and 3 months before I could have get it. I was supposed to get it that May, but I couldn't get it because of the pandemic. The country was shut down. I couldn't get it. And they sent an emergency notice to me, so I have to come right away because they need to check it, because it's very aggressive and it's moving fast.
This, she says, has taken a serious emotional toll.
It's really, really hard and depressing because sometimes I can't sleep at night. I feel like a lot of sound in my head, and I get these special food. Some days I can't find anything to eat, and right food to eat. I don't have no money to get nothing, and it's really hard. It's really hard on me. I don't like to think about it.
Now, Nicole has to go back to the United States for treatment that costs over $50,000 every 6 months. Her vision is already blurry. She is in constant pain, and she says getting back is a matter of life or death. She's asking for the public's assistance.
I'm asking them if they can please help me to get at least, give me something that I can go and get the treatment what I need, and whatever they can do. I'll be more appreciative of whatever they do.
Now, if you are able to assist Nicole Knowles, please contact her at 807-9328. And that's a look at stories making news. Here's a check on sports with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. Well, it is the track season and it is the month of March, which means track is at its peak. Well, the Heath Athletics Track Club recently traveled to Miramar, Florida, where they competed, and guess what? They did exceptionally well. Heath Athletic Track Club took a small member team to South Florida to participate in a track meet. For Coach John Ingram, his athletes performed well as expected.
We was able to did what we were supposed to do. We competed in the 1, the 2, the 4, the 8, the 15. But overall the meet was where we wanted to be. I saw that we were able to drop our times down. We had some kids who ran their personal best. Erin Barr, she did well in the 800 meters, and she at times are coming along on the Crifter standard. And we had 2 boys who ran the 400. They got gold and the silver. And right now they're on the verge of hitting that 47 that marked the qualifier for Crifter.
Erin Barr competed in the girls' 800 meters.
I took place in the 800 meters, and I think I did exceptional. Right now, I'm just trying to push, do my best, accelerate, speed. I'm working on my speed so I could finish in my race.
In the senior boys sprint, Shamar Smith came back with a gold and silver medal.
I took part in the 100, 200, and the 400. I PR'd in all of them. I feel like coming forward in this upcoming season, heading to Crifter is going to be good. looking good for me.
Running in the same races, BMES standout Michael Stiles produced some of his best times in the quarter mile.
In the 400, I ran a personal best 48.6. I feel like that was a good race, you know, show my improvement. And I just hope I get trained and continue to improve throughout the season to make the grip standard.
On the girls' side, Rihanna Sims competed in 3 events.
I thought I did amazing. I make it to the finals for all my races. I had a lot of challenge in the 4 and the 2. I feel like I did to my best. I was close to my PR. I raised my PR inside the 4.
Also, Blake Bartlett won gold in the open men's 100 meters in a time of 10.81 seconds, and Albert Lethan was also a finalist. Sticking with track and field, the B3S has pushed back the Crystal Trials to ensure that they get the maximum out of the athletes preparing to go to Kingston, Jamaica next month. The B3S had intended to stage the final trials over the weekend of March 25th through the 26th, but instead the trials is now scheduled to take place April 1st and 2nd in order to afford the athletes more time to prepare for the competition. And finally in sports, Buddy Hield and the Indiana Pacers, yes, the Indiana Pacers, lost in a close one in their last game to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 127-124 at home to drop to 22-45 on the season. He was in the starting lineup once again, clocking 38 minutes, but took only 6 shots in the game, connected on 5 of them. The sharpshooter totaled 14 points on the night and dished out 8 assists. Up next, the Pacers will travel to Texas to take on the San Antonio Spurs. That's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.